Hi beautiful people, my name is Marita Prodger and I'm from the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2 and I'm so excited to be chatting with the Fab Femme today. Yeah, so I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area and then right after high school I decided to move to Florida. I wanted to be a marine biologist, but then going through all of the science classes and everything, I just saw that there were too many fish to identify and I was like, that's not really my thing. So then I moved to Nashville and I ended up studying at Belmont University and I got my degree in creative entertainment industry studies. Worked in the music industry for a little bit, did artist development, artist management, PR, and then after a couple years in Nashville and like post-pandemic, I decided to move back to Florida just because I really liked the vibe of St. Pete. I knew it was like the community was very queer and there's just so much to do there. So I decided to move back to Nashville and I brought Ashley with me because that's where we met. We met in Nashville and then we moved to St. Pete.
Wonderful. And when did you realize you were queer and what was coming out like for you?
So I realized I was queer at a very young age and I feel like it was how I felt just watching like TV shows and movies growing up. And I actually took my mom's work computer and like typed in the search bar, I typed boobs when I was really little and my mom was like, what is this? And I was like, I don't know, I was curious. And then, yeah, so just like looking at different characters through the screen and like just feeling more than I should have about like women. And then coming out was about 10 years ago now. And it was a little bit hard. It was actually kind of a crazy story. My ex at the time actually gave me an ultimatum and she was like, you need to come out to your family on the phone right now or I'm gonna go hook up with this girl. And so I sat there like a little 18-year-old and I was like, okay, give me the phone, I'll call my mom. So I called my mom and I told her and she wasn't receptive to it yet. And she told me like not to tell certain family members and then that just kind of became a situation. And then when my ex came home with me to San Francisco and met my family, she was awful to them. And it just turned into this whole blown up fight. And finally that relationship ended and we started mending relationships in terms of like my coming out and how my family feels about it. And they've been so supportive and they're really happy for me. Even my mom like threw a Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2 watch party with all of her Marin mom friends and it was so cute. And my dad threw a watch party and like has always been super, super supportive. So it was a rough start there, but all in all, I'm really happy with the support that I have from my family and my friends. And yeah, it was a long journey, but I'm really, really happy to be here. So after going on the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2, my entire journey to me just felt magical. And I showed up to that experience completely not knowing what was gonna happen or what the end result would be. I genuinely thought that like Ashley and I could walk into that and grow together and try to align on what we wanted for the future. And that's not what happened. But at the end of the day, I found an even greater love within myself, but then also the people around me, like with Britney. And I just really learned that, you know, love shouldn't feel empty. It should look like this beautiful energy of another person that genuinely wants to give to you and like consider you and make you feel seen. And after going through the experience, I looked at myself and I was like, I know what I bring to the table. I'm a hopeless romantic. I do so much for my partners. And then I sit here and I'm like, why am I not getting that back? And why am I sitting here waiting and begging for that when I know in myself, I could just give myself that love and then eventually in the future, hopefully find an even greater love that does provide that for me. So the whole entire experience was just like exactly what I needed. The universe brought me love. It brought me what it really means to feel taken care of.
So what was it like watching yourself on screen after the series debuted?
Yeah, so obviously, like, we're in it. We know what happened, like, during the dates and, like, the entire 3 months that we were filming. We were there. We were a part of the story. But to watch it back and see everything unfold, it was so perfectly aligned with how I felt the entire experience went for me. Just because I know it was, for me, all about growth, looking at myself, looking at me as an individual, what I deserve, and like my energy, and seeing all of the scenes that were put into the season that kind of just unpack that and show me as my authentic self, learning and growing and knowing what the frick I deserve. And I think like it all came together so perfectly, and so many of the scenes are like pillow talks or just like at home with Britney, and that really felt like a genuine love. And then the scenes that didn't make it, like the dating and like salsa dancing and stuff, we had a blast. That was so much fun. But at the same time, it wasn't aligned with the story because it was just like fun and games. But like the actual dates that were in the house and felt like Britney was my wife, that was the growth. That was the beauty. That was the love that she was showing me. And I'm so glad it was like authentic, real, and raw. It's kind of wild, but Britney and I only had that one first date when we were speed dating on the beach with literally everybody else. So I remember we talked about rollerblading, we talked about Bayo, we talked about like just, you know, cute, fun stuff, because we didn't really think that like we would end up in a trial marriage together. But then I really started liking AJ, and that got kind of messy. But I'm really happy that Britney and I were, you know, a blessing in disguise when we came together, because she is such a genuine, passionate, beautiful person. And she taught me so much about growth, about love, about energy, about her as a person is just like, she's just bliss to me. And it felt like a breath of fresh air. So I would say like my favorite date with her was probably the one at the park where she opened a fork for me. And I might just go get a fork tattooed on my body, because like that is symbolism right there. The fact that that girl really just sat there and like was considering me in that moment. I know it's just a fork, but like to me, that just shows like what I wasn't getting. And it just shows that like I do have so much gratitude for what's around me and the people that I bring into my energy. But to not get anything for that long, for the entire relationship that I was with Ashley, it was like it was a call for help when I was trying to do things for her. And it felt like that every single day. Like when I would get her flowers, she hates flowers, but it's like, okay, well, I like them. Why don't you look at what's going on here and try to provide for me in the way that like I know I deserve? And then maybe we can talk about like what I can do for you. But it didn't seem like she cared or appreciated like anything that I would do for her. So I was just sitting there like, what am I doing? Why am I in this relationship?
How did building a friendship with Britney change the dynamics in your partnership with Ashley once filming ended and you guys went home?
That is a really good question. So Britney and I, wifeys for life, like we will always be in each other's lives. The relationship, the connection that we have is so beautiful. And I feel like Ashley kind of just looked at that and was a little jealous of that. It started to feel like she was losing control of me as a person, because I was opening my eyes to like something greater than what she was able to bring me. And they actually have the same birthday, which is kind of crazy. But I just remember on her birthday, on Ashley's birthday, I was like calling Britney, and she was just like, well, this is my birthday. And I'm like, okay, yes, and I love you, and we're celebrating you, but also I love Britney, and like I want to make sure that like she knows that I care about her on her birthday. And it was just little things, like Ashley would tell me like not to call Britney wifey, and like that's not okay to me, because like that is my wifey for life. And like if that makes you upset, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm not gonna not call my trial marriage partner wifey. A few things that I took away from the experience regarding platonic chemistry was that like just because Britney and I weren't physically, romantically involved, we were emotionally involved. We got so deep. We talked about the good, the bad, the ugly. We talked about our upbringing. We got so into each other's lives and really what like makes us us. And then talking about like us as people, it sounds like egotistical, but like Britney and I are powerful freaking women that have a lot to give and bring to this world. And it felt like just our energies combined together was just like a force of nature, because it was like we knew each other's value and like respected that, and like just dove into like, oh shit, like we know what the frick we need in our future, because like we're not gonna settle, and we should never have to settle, because we're powerful women that like we're lovers, and we do what we do for people because like that's who we are. But to not get that back, that was the issue. And that's why I had to set myself free, and it's the best decision I've ever made.
What advice would you give for women who are in a long-term relationship and are at a crossroad with their partner about the idea of marriage, or even staying together in general?
Yeah, so I think it kind of comes back to like that generic saying of like, when you know, you know. And I also feel like for me, I'm personally like pretty spiritual, and I think about like angels and guardians, and like everything kind of happens for a reason. And it's like, if your gut is telling you, I don't care how long you've been in this relationship, if your gut is telling you that like this isn't the person for you, listen to it. Listen to it and like feel that. Feel it and ask yourself why. And then analyze the situation. Like, is this person going to be able to make you happy at the end of the day? That's what love should be about. It's a partnership. It's a power. It's each other's cheerleader. And if it's not feeling that way, even if it's like freaking 25 years, I don't care. Like, if you know that you're not getting exactly what you know you deserve, it is okay to admit that. And if you bring it up to your partner and you say, hey, this is where I'm at, can we get here? And they're still not able to get there, it's time to set yourself free. It's time to look at yourself and be like, there will be another great love. And it'll be different, and it'll be powerful and passionate, and it's gonna make you turn around, look at that relationship and be like, happy that it happened, but more powerful to just walk away knowing that like that's your stance.
Let's sum up your ideal partner in 3 words.
Ooh, okay. My ideal partner in 3 words, I would say romantic, funny, and considerate.
I'm just gonna go really rogue right now and ask you like some rapid fire questions.
Let's do it.
I haven't even written them down, so I'm just gonna like whatever comes up.
You're like, it's top of mind, top of mind.
Okay.
Let's do it. I'm so ready. Like, clearly, something's in me today.
Mercury's in Gatorade, so.
Something like that.
Who's your favorite person on Love Island?
Ooh! Like this one? I want to say Amaya. Is that her name? Yeah.
She's a sweetheart.
Yes.
Have you seen The L Word?
Of course I have.
Okay. Favorite character on The L Word?
Oh my god, Bet. That was so quick. I was like, Bet. Yeah.
Okay.
Clearly.
What was your first girl crush? Celebrity girl crush?
I want to say Miley Cyrus. Like, I felt her through Hannah Montana, and I was like, I'll ask you to prom. I want to be, like, in that screen holding your hand. Like, I felt like I had a crush on her. Like, every time I would watch her show, I was, like, in awe.
I love it. What's the last movie that made you cry?
Okay. On the way here, I watched A Star is Born, and I just, like, that movie is so powerful in itself. Like, visually and cinematically, it is like a masterpiece, but then the concept behind it and like the love that they share, but then also the music and like what happens in that movie. I was just like, I was brought to tears because like growing up, like I always felt that. I always felt like I would somehow be sharing my message with the world, whether that's through song, through any type of form, but like I have a lot to say. I have so much to bring to the table, and like I am a singer. So watching A Star is Born, it feels like I felt that. Like I felt her getting on stage for that first time. I felt her going through the motions of like trying to figure out who she is as an artist. I also felt like the challenges in that relationship and like looking at their dynamic. It's just like that movie brings so much up, and it was just like, it brought me to tears on the plane. And I was like, well, this is embarrassing, but you know, it is what it is.
What's your least favorite zodiac sign?
Can't say Virgo because my sister's a Virgo, Britney's a Virgo. And like I love Virgos. I want to say Aries. They're fiery. But I don't know, like maybe that's enticing. I don't know. Let's go with Aries.
And then what's your favorite zodiac sign besides your own?
I'm not gonna say Virgo, but like I want to say Virgo, but I'm not gonna say Virgo. I feel like Cancer is a good one. Yeah, Cancer.
Okay, interesting. And what's the weirdest thing you've seen since you've been in LA so far?
Man. Should I just stop there?
Keep going. I already know the way you started. I'm like, oh.
Okay, yeah. Like, I was getting coffee with Britney, AJ, Haley, and Pilar, and like, this man was like sleeping, I think, on top of a scooter with like a cooler or like something, and like, just, yeah.
It's very LA coded.
Yeah, but like it looked uncomfortable. I was like, why don't you put the scooter over there and not have half of your body, like, you know, just like lay on the ground if you're gonna lay on the fucking ground.
Tell us just some about your life as a singer and what people can expect from you, because I feel like you have things up your sleeves even though you don't have any sleeves on at the moment.
No sleeves, but I got some tricks up my dress.
Love that. Love that.
Okay, well, now that we're here, so when I was little, like, I was very passionate about, like, the media and wanting to share my voice, and, like, it would be me at Christmas, like, getting up and singing in front of my entire family, or, like, watching American Idol and being like, I want to be on that. And then one day I decided to audition and for this agency. It's called John Robert Powers. And then I ended up going to iPop within 4 months of going into that program, and it changed my life. Like, the first time I ever sang in front of people on a stage was at that stage when I was 8 years old at iPop singing This Is the Life, and there were 2,000 people in the audience. And, like, if you watch the YouTube video, you can just tell that there is no fear. I'm there with that microphone. I'm singing my little heart out as an 8-year-old girl who has a dream and is fulfilling that at such a young age. And it felt like that. It felt powerful. It feels like that was my calling. And so recording as, like, a young artist, it was incredible. I was writing about, like, things that didn't even happen yet. And that's kind of crazy too. Like, the songs that I wrote when I was like 8 to 12 were all about knowing that you deserve better, which, like, gives me chills, because, like, there's a song called Fortune Teller, and literally the line is, I don't need a fortune teller to know that you could treat me better. And then there's Notebook, and it's like, let me just tear you out of this notebook. And then the other one is Broke Me, and that one's about, like, knowing that, like, why'd you break me, and why am I, like, feeling this way when I could have just left on my own. So the fact that when I was, like, younger and a singer and I was writing these songs, it came into fruition in my life, and that's called manifestation. So now, as an artist, I want to focus on, like, the love that I have for the love that I bring, the love that I have, and, like, the message that comes with the story of the Ultimatum and, like, what I went through. I want to be able to share that through song, but I also want to talk about, like, the positivity and, like, self-love and giving yourself that energy. And musically, like, I'm more aligned with, like, pop, blues, and soul. And I want to make sure that the sound I do put out there, like, now that I'm more mature, is exactly what I want everyone to hear. And so that messaging is coming together right now. Like, I'm in the studio, I'm talking to producers and everything, but I just want it to feel powerful. I want it to be right. And I'm really excited to share that with the world once it all comes together.
Yeah, let's talk about this reunion and just dive in, however you want.
Okay. So the reunion was crazy. I'm sure everybody saw it and was like, what is going on? I'm pretty sure there was, like, somebody that came out on TikTok and was like, it's the battle of the grandparents, which is wild, because going through that is obviously a very emotional time in anybody's life. But let me just set the record straight, okay? So Ashley cheated on me while I was in California and my grandfather was dying. She wasn't answering her phone. She was at this girl's apartment, and she actually got caught 2 days later at the pier on a date with the girl. And then someone took a picture of her, sent it to a friend that sent it to Ashley, and then Ashley calls me and she's like, hey, I actually hate it here in St. Pete. Someone's spying on me. I said, Ashley, what do you mean someone's spying on you? Like, I'm with my grandma. Like, can we talk about this later? And she's like, no. Like, I'm just really anxious. Like, I had to tell you that, like, somebody thought that I was on a date tonight. It's like, Ashley, what the fuck do you mean someone thought you were on a date? Like, you're in a relationship with me. And she was like, well, I was with Mel, and, you know, when Mel gets really drunk, she, like, has her hands all over me, and, like, it looks like we were a couple. And I was like, that's crazy. Okay. Not knowing that there was a picture, not knowing that, like, Ashley was not with Mel because I believe my girlfriend when she tells me things. Now I don't, clearly. But then when I got home, the girl that took the picture and I worked out, and she was like, I need to show you this. She showed me the picture, and it was her and this girl, Maddie, on the pier on a date. And I sent it to her and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I was like, that's not Mel, you fucking liar. And then she moved to Colorado with the girl.
Well, is there anything you want to say to Ashley?
What I would like to say to Ashley is, like, I'm done with you disrespecting me. You know me as a person, you know my energy and like how much I loved you. Yet you're still here trying to like fuck with my energy. And like, after all you've already put me through, I'm done. I'm done. And like, for you to manipulate the situation at the reunion when I said, you know, this happened while my grandfather was dying, and then you scream a heinous lie about me saying that I cheated on you 5 times, which, where the fuck did that even come from? Like, you know I've never cheated on you. And then to top it all off, you have to scream that your grandma is dying and try to get sympathy from me. And like, I will say my reaction was a heat of the moment situation, and like, of course I cared about Ashley's grandma, of course I cared about her family, but like, why are you trying to manipulate the situation of what's happening at the reunion to do anything possible to get the heat off of you so that I look bad for the thing that you did? I'm done. Like, I don't appreciate it. I don't get why you're this awful to me. And that's that. Like, please just like leave me alone.